Hey everyone, I'm Jude Hotep, the goddess astrologer and alchemical initiatrix. Happy new moon in Aquarius. This is a new moon at 1 degrees Aquarius on January 21st, 2023. We're going to get into this. Before we go into this new moon, I want to share something with you. This is the night sky, and not this, but hold on a second. So this is a picture of the night sky. This isn't CG'd. This is a real image. And if we didn't have so much light pollution in cities or even in rural areas, you could really see the sky at night. And we once lived underneath the stars and the cycle of the moons and how it affected our hormones and our cycles as women. And so we were connected to the majesty of the night sky and feeling that interconnectedness with all of existence. And so I encourage you to take a country drive somewhere to where you can get underneath the night sky as often as possible and take a half an hour or an hour to meditate, sing, dance, connect, to do things to raise your frequency. Just put a blanket out, read underneath the stars. I understand that, temperatures in some places with winter in the northern hemisphere, but you can sit in your car and have the heater going. I mean, so get out underneath the night sky as often as possible to connect in with the earth being held in our solar system, which is held in the multiverse, with our interconnectedness with all that is, and with your power as a woman and where you've come from, that you're here to radiate light and do really big things here. I want to show you some images that the James Webb Telescope has captured. What the hell? Go back. No, go forward. I'm not sure. Oh, here it is. Okay, I wanted to show you some pictures of what the James Webb Telescope has captured. We know that we live in a multiverse. We don't live in a universe. Many of us have known this for a really long time, channelers, seers, but the James Webb Telescope has now captured other universes on film. And so here are some of the images. It's so fantastical, right? This is not very beautiful, but it is like, wow, it's these images are so fantastic. This one I just find so beautiful. But I wanted to share this with you to connect in to ourselves, connected to all of existence. I'm going to share this chart with you. This new moon is happening at 2:53 p.m. Central Time. So adjust for your time zone, 3:53 p.m. for Eastern and 12:53 p.m. for Pacific. And this is on the 21st. It's Saturday. It is at 1 degrees of Aquarius. New moons are always a new beginning. It's a time where we vision for our people. A lot of times people will say to vision and create and manifest and intend, put your intentions during a new moon and to release at the full moon. But we're coming out of I just don't I don't ascribe to that, because we're coming out of a balsamic moon phase this whole week and then into this new moon on Saturday. And that balsamic moon phase is a trip through the underworld, through our shadow, through our collective unconscious, through our psyche soul, to clear out, heal, to look at the material in there that we're ready to face, so that we can heal it and release it and to reset our mind, our thinking around that. And Aquarius is a very cerebral sign. It's an air sign. It's a fixed air sign. So it can be very fixed in what it believes and thinks about the world and how it sees things. And Aquarius needs to see every single angle. It can get very complex and very deep. I once asked an Aquarius to sit down to kind of just brainstorm, not even sit down. I was just like, hey, can we get together and kind of brainstorm some things on the business, whatever. I just really wanted to socialize and chat, but her brilliant mind, my brilliant mind come together and kind of just some things would come out of it, right? Well, she sits down and it's like, okay, let's go into it. Let's get the paper out and pen, and here's all, just really complicated and really deep and just from every angle. And it was just too much. It wasn't intuitive. It was missing the whole intuition piece and the understanding piece. And that's the thing about Aquarius, is it can be these massive just downloads from nowhere, from nowhere, just completely amazing insights and flashes and downloads and galactic higher consciousness understanding, and Aquarius can be quantum leaps. So we're going to get into this more. This is this new moon here, and the new moon is a visioning moon, but we're coming off this balsamic phase. We're releasing. We're in this time of the great healing. So we are in a cycle of healing more than I think humanity has faced for a very, 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 very long time, if ever possibly, because everyone I know and that I work with is healing many multiple past lives, lots of karmic cycles, and breaking away of old karmic cycles, which Mars is really indicating as well. I'm going to get into that. And Proserpina here, this asteroid here, conjunct this new moon, is saying that this is a bridge from the old to the new, from where we've been to where we're going. And so it really helps us to know that we're so held and supported by the guides, by the galactic energies, by the ETs, which, it's funny because sometimes, they're like, well, you're an alien to us. And it's like, and I have been that, right? You choose to come back to incarnate into Earth, you can go and be there again. There's this freedom of choosing. There's just all of these different embodiments of consciousness. A lot of the science and the space industry doesn't really understand that Mars and the other planets, they're looking for life, but they don't understand they need to look for consciousness, not for life. The consciousness is on those planets, but not life as we think of life, right? And so we have the sun having conjunct Pluto before it came into this new moon at 28 degrees this week. And so it was going into the subconscious material and eliminating things and showing us what we're hopefully ready to face and heal and release and can actually get a hold of and work with our mind on, and to redo that kind of thinking that drags us down into disempowerment or makes us in this victim consciousness, or makes us think that we're victimized by circumstances, and doesn't allow us to be in our power. Because to move mountains, to shine our light, to radiate our light, to be at a higher frequency, we want to be as empowered feeling as we possibly can, and coming out of the lower emotional states that really keep us from being empowered. It's better to be angry than fucking depressed. So be angry for a little while to get out of those more disempowered states, so you can take action for your light and say, enough's enough. I'm enough of this power over dynamic, enough of this bullshit, enough where I didn't get what I needed, enough where I couldn't create what I wanted, enough of being deferring to others, enough, right? And this new moon is a frequency upgrade, which means we must stay in our heart. And I'm going to get into that too. So Proserpina is a bridge from the old to the new. We've had this conjunction with Pluto and the sun, and showing us the underworld. We went through the balsamic moon phase, and right after that, the moon had met up with Scorpio this past week. So we've seen a lot of our deep subconscious material, and now it's like, okay, good. I can really bump up and quantum leap here. I can actually jump forward and move forward into much higher frequency than I even knew was possible, into higher consciousness. And that's what Aquarius can be, is quantum leaps in consciousness, jumps in frequency way up there. I've talked about the map of consciousness on this, and you can Google the map of consciousness. It'll show you like love is at the 500, and unconditional love is 540 and above. And we want to be at least like in the 300 to 350 range to be in that neutrality. So we want to view circumstances as neutral the best we can, get very neutral on them so that we're not triggered and provoked by them, which means having real skills of releasing emotions and working with your mind and all of the thoughts that it has to say that produce more emotions. and all of the lenses that we filter through, the traumas and the fears and the insecurities that we filter our life through if we don't do that inner work. What else is important about this new moon is that it's an Aquarius new moon. So the rulers of this, something else that I wanted to share with you. So the rulers of this new moon are Saturn and Uranus. So the ancient ruler is Saturn and the modern ruler is Uranus, and Saturn's the old and Uranus is the new. Uranus is the future. Saturn is the past and it's the 3D, and Uranus is really the galactic and the higher consciousness. Here's the other thing about this being a new beginning, new beginning, new beginning. This is a new moon. I think we're on our third. There's 5 new moons in a row. And then when we get to the Aries new moon, it's going to be at 0 degrees Aries, which is A on a world point, and B, it's 0 degrees, not even 1 degree. So it's new beginning, right? And this is, I think, the third new moon at 1 degree. So it's the stars, the transits, the celestial, the multiverse is speaking to us and telling us what's up, what is happening. And what's happening is that in these areas of Sagittarius and Capricorn and now Aquarius, we've had these new beginnings in those realms. Sagittarius about our visioning, our ability to stand in our own expertise in our business and our world and our life, instead of looking to white coats, looking to so-called PhDs or so-called experts, so-called authorities, but stand in our own expertise, Sagittarius, understanding our own higher truth, because we connect to the higher truth, not some man-made laws, and I say man-made laws, right? So, but higher truth, Sagittarius, and that deeper understanding and wisdom. And then Capricorn is about society and the big structures of everything. And Pluto's in Capricorn destroying that, right? And so, and exposing everything that's not of love, and exposing everything that's not for higher consciousness, that can no longer help us to evolve. Pluto's saying like, this has got to go, this has got to go, this has got to go. And so now we're in Aquarius. This is humanity. This is our consciousness. This is our thinking. This is the way we think and how complex and in our mind, too much in our head we can be. And is our mind being helpful? Is what we're thinking serving us, or is it not serving us on a moment to moment basis? And the other thing about this being a new beginning is Jupiter is in Aries. Here's the thing. Chiron has been moving through Aries, and Chiron is saying, hey, I really want to heal this Aries paradigm of the archaic warrior programming that we've been under for a really, really long time. It's time to stand in your autonomy, Aries. It's time to stand in to reclaim your sovereignty, Aries. It's time to have your independence and to move the light forward, to move out of this depravity and this power over paradigm and this competition and hierarchy paradigm. Competition keeps you in the loop of the power over system. And Aries is passion and it's determination. And so Chiron has been moving through this area of Aries already before Jupiter landed here. And now Jupiter is moving through where Chiron has already moved through to help humanity heal these areas of our egos, of our identity, of our authority, of our autonomy and sovereignty and our independence and our fierce belief coming out of that victimhood and that disempowerment in what we can create, believing in everything that is possible and what can be. Aries just is the unicorn. It really believes in what's possible, and it's excited, and it gets knocked down and it keeps getting back up and keeps going. And so Juno and Jupiter in this conjunction. So this is more new, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the beginning. And so Juno, our relationships, and Jupiter together are saying the masculine and the feminine are coming together in unity, but in their own autonomy. They're coming together to partner for this new partnership model of society, power with, power from within, versus the power over system, the domination model of society and culture, and coming together to unify together. But they've been doing their inner work internally. And if you're doing that inner work and do it because it will it will, otherwise you're seeing through the lens of trauma. Otherwise you're living your life through the lens of trauma that maybe you pushed it down, but that's what you're living through still, whether it's not consciously in your face or not. So if it's in there, it's running. And so we want to do our inner work no matter how hard it is. That's why it's great to get guides and support and coaches to be supported on this journey, because all of humanity is doing this great big work right now. And so the masculine and feminine is coming together in Aries to start a new cycle. Since they're conjunct exact at the time of this new moon, it's saying the future, new beginnings, the masculine and the feminine unifying, but from a place of autonomy, not from a place of one dominating the other, or one being demonized, or this power over control, or the competition. Competition doesn't actually exist, and scarcity doesn't actually exist, but the power over and those that make profit off of it, and narcissists and damaged egos don't want you to know that, because that's how they keep the power over and the dominance and control over you, and keep you in fear, so that you're in that system and looking to them for what to do. Fear, like, it causes us to drop our sense of authority and autonomy, and it causes us to look to other people. And as long as we're not looking to ourselves, and we're not in touch with our intuition, our feminine genius, and we're being controlled. And Diana here, this goddess asteroid, goddess Diana is a goddess of sisterhood. She's a goddess of fierce independence. She is an athlete. She is witty. She is strong. She's capable. She is a huntress. She is unto herself, completely independent and fierce. And she's a 0 degrees Aries at the time of this new moon. She is saying, women, stand up in your fierce independence, but also stand up in unity together in female community. Stop with the competition and rise into sisterhood, because this is how we will rise together, because women are the hinge pin to changing this power over model. Because when women start to change humanity and get out of domestication and get out of suppression, creativity blossoms. There's less sexual repression. There is more social reform, and there's more equality and justice and fairness and balance. And men in historical periods when this has happened, historically, men have come along for that journey, because the thing is maybe they can survive better in patriarchy than women can, but they are still being dominated over and have somebody controlling and have power over them. So they want this change as well. And so that's just kind of looking at, historical moments in time, but it's women who are the hinge pin that change things, because then it's evident all of humanity changes, more creativity, less sexual repression, and independence and social reform. And so Diana here is saying that women must come together and rise together in sisterhood. And women are doing this all around the world. So new beginning after new beginning after new beginning. This is also this, looking at Aquarius. Aquarius is also a revolt against the trespasses of soul. Aquarius is revolution, it's revelation, it's higher consciousness. We've been habituated to domination, power over, control. We've been habituated to narcissistic abuse. Everyone, if you look out there in the world, you'll see that there's a narcissistic awakening happening on the planet. Everyone I know, everyone I see on social media, just the world is literally waking up from how narcissists have been running this power over domination control model of society and culture. And everyone is shaking off all these narcissists and saying, no more, I'm out of this relationship. I'm not doing this anymore. Like, if you have a narcissist in your life, stop fighting with them. They're not real people. They can't feel. You're never going to convince them. You're never going to change them. They never heal. And they don't feel emotions. They don't have somatic empathy. That's why they do what they do. They cannot heal. So we don't have to fight the patriarchy. We don't have to fight the power over system. We just have to create the new system. And we're doing it. We're all doing it around the world. Things are changing. Things are shifting. Here's the thing, is that we have the old and the new, the old and the new. We're going through this like birthing process. And so there's these contractions. And so with Pluto going into Aquarius this year in March, at the end of March for 3 months, and then going back into Capricorn, and then next year going into Aquarius for more of the time than it goes back into Capricorn, and then it'll be in Aquarius for a 20-year stint. It's like we're going old, new, and it's like we're going through these contractions through the birth canal to the new. And so we've been in the womb, like particularly through 2022, going through this, the underworld, and cleaning and clearing and soaking up nutrients and nurturing ourselves and working to be able to come forward in this. We have to heal our wounding from the patriarchal, woman-hating society that we've grown up in as women. And men really need to heal their trigger of hearing the word patriarchy. They need to heal their triggers around toxic masculinity. They need to heal their triggers from all of this and heal their side of the street. And we're doing this healing as women. And the thing about Aquarius too is that the shadow is trying to fit in. Most people spent most of their life trying to fit in, trying to be like other people, and striving to be better or superior to others. And this only perpetuates the hierarchical power over system. And that's the shadow side of Aquarius, the dystopian technocratic world, the chips in your body and stuff, the owning of different parts of the internet. The internet allowed the democratization of information, consciousness, and it allows us to be liberated. We need to keep things free. We need to be out there. We need to be sacred activists. We need to be shining our light really big. You need to be in a place of empowerment. Get angry rather than get depressed if you can. Heal, do the inner healing work, because we are changing the world. Things are shifting. It's happening everywhere already. You can already live at those higher levels of frequency. And this new moon is a massive frequency upgrade. Are you an individual within the group, or are you like merging with group identities to fit in, to feel comfortable, because you're not dealing with your own insecurities, because you're not dealing and doing the inner work and dealing with your shadow and dealing with all the fears or the doubts or the not good enough, the imposter syndrome, the like trying to upgrade it to the next level in your business, or to step out as a woman and speak your voice. It can be really fucking hard and challenging. There's a lot of programs that are crisscrossing and webbing all throughout our psyche soul as humanity, and we're peeling those away. And so get support and like look and see if you are going into be like others, or if you're standing in your own individuality. Aquarius is fierce individuality. It is ingenuity and inventiveness and uniqueness. It's the maverick. It's the Rara Avis. And here's the thing is that, yes, we live in duality, but we want to do duality through unity, not through separation. And we want to do unity through diversity, not conformity. And so we have to watch these things with it being Aquarius and moving into an Aquarius era. And so Aquarius, this new moon, is ruled by Saturn and Uranus. And so we have the old and the new. Here's the thing though. Saturn is did I say Aquarius or Uranus? Anyways, I think I said Uranus. Saturn is in Aquarius. So we have the ancient ruler that's more dark in Capricorn, more 3D, more karma, more heavy, the old hard work program. Like, don't stop perpetuating that hard work program. That is a program to get you out of your feminine, to keep you on the hamster wheel, to keep you out of intuitive, inspired action. Do you want to do inspired work or hard work? I mean, seriously, these are the real choices that you get to make, like every day-to-day moments. And this is Aquarius. This is about our mind. This is air. This is an air new moon. And so it's about our mind and how we think. And we have fixed, rigid thoughts that Uranus is saying we need to break up. We need to repattern. Uranus is about the crystalline structures and the old life patterns that it's time to change. But when Uranus has been retrograde, and it's not only going to go forward after this new moon is peaked, and so has been exact. And so Uranus is still retrograde at the time of this full moon, saying that we need to revolt. This whole, since last May to now, has been this revolt and this reform socially of the crystallized structures, Saturn and Capricorn, and the life patterns and the thinking patterns, the viral thought forms, the illusions and programs that hold us in these soul cages, these cages of of existence, of life here on Earth, and that keep us stuck in these old ways. And it's been about reforming. And so Uranus is still at this world point degree. So things happening in the world, that this is happening on the world stage, and is not going to turn forward direct at 14 degrees until after this new moon is exact, which tells us so much about the reforms of society and systems and structures and old thought programming and ways we've been thinking that we've been doing since May of last year when Uranus went retrograde. Or I think so Uranus hit the 14 degree mark in May and then went retrograde, I believe in the summer sometime. I don't have the exact date off the top of my head. And so for this long period of time, while we were going through the underworld and clearing out our shadow and clearing out the narcissist and clearing out all of the wounded egos and manipulators out of our life and doing all that deep inner work, right? And so Saturn being in the sign of Aquarius is the, instead of in Capricorn or some other sign, is saying the higher octave of Saturn. Let's do society, Saturn, the new way, Aquarius, for the future, for what we're evolving to, evolution. Uranus is the evolution, and it's quantum leaps, and it's higher frequency and higher consciousness. And with this conjunction, here's the thing. Saturn is conjunct Venus. This conjunction won't happen again for 28, 30 years. And so this conjunction is a big deal because Venus is our relationships. It's the way we think about money. Being in an Aquarius, it's how we think about money, how we think about relationships. And it is the collective. It is, are we going to do conformity or diversity? Unity through diversity, or are we going to do conformity? And we're going to try to do that fitting in thing that most of us grew up trying to do, right? And so, and a lot of times people think they're being unique. I'm alternative, but they're still part of an alternative group. Like, are you really unique unto yourself with, like, from your heart, from like what you come up with? That's not like everyone else. And that may be in the way that you speak, that may be in what you're bringing forward and the information you're bringing forward, the way you do your business. It can be in any way. And so this Venus conjunct Saturn is, it's so many things. It's this change. It's change. It is, are we doing relationships in society based on vibration, or are we doing the old ways? I want to be popular. I want to be approved of. I want to be special. I want to be looked on at as pretty or wanted. If you're a woman and you're running those programs of wanting to be special, looked at as beautiful, pretty, and wanting a guy to look at you and approve of you and all of that, you're not in your sovereignty. You're running programs. Those are programs, viral programs that have been implanted since birth. And so we want to peel and shed those away, because you're the only one that needs to approve of yourself. As long as you want other people to approve of you, to accept you, love you, think you're special, then you're deferring all of your power to someone else, and you're like just giving away all of your life force energy to something that doesn't fucking matter, which is somebody else's opinion of you. If you guys are a real vibe match, Aquarius, Venus, Saturn, and Aquarius, then you'll just come together and you'll love each other, like each other, be attracted to each other from the heart, from something inside that's just like a knowing of like, hey, we vibe, we just get along, we just understand each other. It just makes sense. And so Venus and Saturn here is like we're getting this chance to revise our relationships and get out of this fixed way of thinking about our money and our relationships and how it works in society, that we're doing things new and we're doing things different. And this is this chance here that we won't have again for 30 more years. So this is a big deal that this conjunction is also happening at the time of this new moon, at the time of Diana being at 0 degrees, at the time that Juno and Jupiter meet up for a conjunction, the feminine and the masculine come together in the area of Aries, about coming together in our own sovereign self to unify and to rise into this new cycle, Aries, and this new Earth, Uranus in Taurus, which is the other ruler of this new moon. And Uranus is at this world point of 14 degrees in retrograde, like I was saying, conjunct Pan, which is this asteroid about fun and playfulness and lightheartedness and mirth and mischief and just, it's like mixing it up. It's very, makes so much sense of like a Uranus vibe, Aquarius vibe. And so Uranus is saying we're breaking up the old status quo, Taurus. We're revolting against what was the status quo, but we're reforming it within the system because it's retrograde. And it turns direct. We're going to understand everything about that retrograde time since last summer. And also since last May, because it was at that 14-degree point last May, and we're going to understand everything that has been, that we've been reforming in society and culture. It's going to start to become clear, and we're going to go forward with no planets retrograde for about 80 some days, where we'll really have this period of time to move forward on our visions, have more flow, clarity, take action, and really start to see everything that's shaking out from all this massive work we've done in like really a dark trek through last year. It was dark. It was heavy energies. It was like still the old energies. It's just, there's a lot of inner work that we were asked to do. And we've been going through a Scorpio South Node, which is, hard, deep underworld treks and trudging through all of that material that we're meant to heal, and in the depravity, in the lack of sacredness and sexuality, and reclaim our sexuality, reclaim our emotions and our intuition to run our life, and the instinctual nature, which is the moon and the feminine, instead of off the mind. And so since there's so much mental energy in this new moon, the mind can be activated really heavily, but it's like it's activated to start clearing it out, to start clearing out the old patterns of thinking, the thoughts that don't serve you, the shit that keeps you disempowered, the programs that are from other fucking people. Use tapping, use emotional breath release. I teach these techniques in Alchemical Goddess Soul Coaching. I teach these techniques on my podcast that has 450 episodes on iTunes and Spotify you can go listen to. All the links are below this video. I teach this stuff everywhere in Light Goddess. You can go to the Light Goddess Facebook group. There's 36 hours of masterclass content there where I teach this stuff. So we want to clear out these old ways of thinking that have held us back and held us down, that aren't working for us. So Uranus is the other ruler of this new moon, saying that I'm in the sign of the divine feminine, that it's time for the divine feminine to rise up, because of women change the world. Women don't tolerate the disparities and the inequalities and the lack of justice. And there's more creativity and sexual expression and love and the connection, and connecting because you actually connect, not because of affluence or you want to be approved of, or the mommy daddy complex, or whatever dumb shit it is that just needs to be healed, witnessed, seen, more compassion, more love. We want to stop blaming victims and shaming victims, but actually all come together to heal, to understand, to point people in directions of what can heal, what can help. We all need to do our own individual healing, but we also need to have a lot of compassion and love for people as they're searching and on their journey of awakening and on their journey of healing and trying to figure out what the fuck is what they need to do, right? We need to bring in that compassion and love. And so what's really important is this septile, kind of like these septiles and biseptiles are pointing to Neptune from the sun and from Uranus. So Uranus, the new earth, the new society, the future, saying no to the status quo and the way things were, doing finances and relationships different, doing the way that we live upon the earth, our literal value, our value systems as humans, is saying it's time to upgrade that shit. What's your value system? You're valuing a 1950s form of family that never fucking worked for anybody. There are statistics that show that male and female were not really happy in that dynamic. They weren't actually ever doing that dynamic, really, and kept forcing themselves to try to do this like 1950s model of a family. Pluto and Libra, that generation, said like it completely destroyed what relationships are. And now we have thousands of versions of what a relationship is, and it's just unending. And well, it's just completely transformed. And the Pluto and Scorpio generation is completely transformed sexuality and power. And that hasn't really come to age quite yet fully. And so there's some Saturn returns needed and some more things needed for that generation. So we haven't seen the full transformation of that generation yet, but Pluto transforms and destroys and transforms everywhere it passes through. So these septiles here are saying to Neptune, is saying that there's just all of this galactic help coming in and pointing to Neptune, who's conjunct Hermes, where Hermes is all about thresholds. And Hermes is the guardian of the threshold. So this threshold that we're moving through, and Neptune is soul. It's our collective soul, the world soul, and our connection with unity and the connectedness of all of life and all of existence. That picture I was showing you at the beginning of the scar and the starry sky, and feeling your interconnectedness with all of life, and in Pisces, soul and creativity and deep unconditional love and compassion. And Hermes is the guardian of new thresholds. And Uranus here is saying, retrograde is saying at this world point, that means turning points. That means choices. So we as humanity, everyone has these turning points and choices, and they're turning to the power over or to the power with and the power from within. They're doing their healing, or they're choosing to go more into a damaged ego, or they're trying to partner with people and to come out of that competition and that hierarchy, or they're going more into groupthink and conformity and just trying to fit in somewhere because they don't want to face the insecurity and to do the inner work that's needed, necessary. So we're at these turning points. We're at these thresholds. Life is changing. And those of us that are the 5D and the new Earth, it's happened. It's here. It's already, like everything has happened. It's here. It just depends on how much of humanity is going to come, how much of humanity can awaken. And we just have this whole 10-year trajectory of so much changing in the world at large. But you can already be at the highest frequency and to keep evolving and frequency upgrade every freaking week, every freaking day. You can just keep raising your level of consciousness, who you're willing to hang around, what you're willing to accept into your sphere. If you're listening to fear and doom and gloom, why? It's not true. And there's no scarcity. Yes, like maybe you need a journey to make the money you want to make, or to accomplish some dreams you want to accomplish, or there's healing that needs to be done. But scarcity is an illusion to keep you in the power over model, controlled by fear and dominated over by some person. Women are taught to defer to men. Women are taught to look to men. Think about if you're in a scenario and you go into a car place and there's a woman and a man behind the counter, who are you going to likely talk to? And it's hard to admit that shit, but be real about it, because this is the stuff that's so deeply ingrained in us. And we really want to be real about the programs so that we can actually pull them out of our psyche. The other thing about this is that there's this yod. A yod is a finger of goddess. It's pointing to Mars in Gemini. And Mars is direct, but it's in shadow until March, and it's out of bounds until May 4th. And so this out of bounds energy is just wild and unwieldy energy, the unexpected, things out of left field, just not quite what you would have thought. So be aware out in the world, like, don't be surprised by surprise, And Mars is our motivation energy. It's our get up and go. It's taking action in the world and this inspiration. And in Gemini, it's been, when it was retrograde, it's been rewiring the masculine energies within us, saying, no, we're not going to work on masculine energy as a feminine. We're not going to work hard and hustle and grind and buy into massive action and all the bullshit programming and spells that keep you chasing your tail and disconnected from your body. Not in embodiment, which Uranus and Taurus is radical embodiment, being so in your body and so full of your sensuality, Taurus, of your sexual power energy, which is the positive gifts of the Scorpio South Node, and so connected to your power and your empowerment as a woman, and being able to create and manifest and bring your light, radiate your power into the world, to bring more love into this world and to help others heal and awaken and radiate their light. And so this yod, this finger of goddess, is pointing to Mars in Gemini at the time of this new moon, saying that Mars, we are cutting away Mars from the old way that we thought, from the old viral programming, from all the old illusions of what we thought reality was, of what we were taught as kids, of what we're supposed to do, of these false rule books. And we are cutting away from old thinking patterns that aren't serving us, keeping us disempowered. And that's what this Mars and Gemini is about. And it's cutting away from the old ways of thinking that aren't working. And it's so great that Gemini is a versatile, mutable, changeable sign, because Aquarius is so fixed. And then where's Mercury, who owns this Gemini? It's in Capricorn here, conjunct Quaoar, which is all about raising frequency, knowing that to raise frequency, we must dance, we must sing, we must celebrate, we must dance around the fire and have ceremony and gatherings and have fun and play. And then Pan here, conjunct New Earth, radical embodiment. The feminine is saying play, have fun. And Hermes here is guarding the threshold of soul, Neptune. And then the masculine and feminine are coming together in unity. And the North Node is conjunct Albion, which is all about the birth and transformation. And Taurus is the springtime and the fecundity and abundance. The bridge between two social groups, right, is this Albion. And so this yod from the South Node, the old, what was not being in our power, and the depravity of society. And Mercury in Capricorn, the old way Capricorn, it's saying, it's pointing to Gemini, the new way of perceiving, thinking, communicating. The Gemini is a deep sign. It's very deep. It is about this intuition, that the mind is getting its information from intuition, from an instinctual nature, because Mercury is a psychopomp between the worlds that helps people move between the worlds and gathers information and brings ideas and then puts them together in a completely unique way. And conjunct Quaoar and Pholus is saying that there is this major turning point. Pholus can cause quite disruptions. It can be not happy or good, but here's the thing, conjunct Quaoar and Mercury, it's saying like, this is a turning point. We have so many turning point markers in the sky at the time of this new moon, that we're at this turning point, that this is a massive. Pholus amplifies anything that it touches, and whatever has been suppressed explodes. And so that's why we want to always do the inner work, because we don't want the what we've suppressed to explode on us and to take us out, or to take us down into depression, where we're not going to be empowered, and we're going to be in that victimhood where we won't take action and radiate our light and change our life, and we could really sink down. So we want to make sure that we're doing the inner work, because Pholus explodes things. And so leading up to this new moon, do anything that's coming up, work with what's arising within that doesn't feel good, this balsamic phase before the new moon. And I always try to get these videos out ahead of time so that you have time to work with the energies before the new moon or full moon actually happens. And so this Quaoar is about play and fun and celebration and raising frequency. And Mercury is this deep sign about our intuition and duality and all the things that we experience, and the deeper understanding of it, the wisdom that's birthed from going through the shamanic journey. And so pointing to Mars about these changes and what's happening. So this is so massive. This is so massive what's happening at this full moon. New moon. New. And the other thing I want to show you before I go into the sun sign horoscopes is that this is opposite Lilith. And the reason why there's the heart beating on the thumbnail of this video is because we have to stay in our heart as we're evolving, as we're growing, and not get into the superiority complexes, which is all about the inferiority issues and deep inside, and is part of that power over dynamic. And, you know, no one has any reason to be superior. We all have our own soul journey that is full of what it is and not full of what it's not. And that it's for a particular reason that our soul wanted to incarnate to do these things or have these experiences. You do your past life work, it's really illuminating to see like why these things occurred in your past life and what was, you know, the understanding of what you were meant to be doing there. And so it is this new moon in a fixed air sign saying is conjunct Leo, the heart, Lilith, the divine feminine. Lilith is really about the transformation. She's about like where you've been subservient with your power. She's about sacred rage and anger practices, because there's so much anger that comes up when you start to realize how much you've been dominated over, how much you gave over your own power, what has went down that you didn't see or couldn't see, or that you're just like kind of like oblivious or obtuse to, and then you come to, and it can be really challenging to deal with that. And there can be a lot of anger and rage and sadness and grief. And then she's about the other side of the transformation, when you're really standing fiercely in your feminine energies, empowered. In Leo, the light, the heart, the illumination, the solar goddess. So Lilith is acting as the solar goddess right now, shining the Leo heart, love, the vulnerability that is safe because it's empowered and it knows itself and is intimate with self. And is opposite this new moon, saying we need to integrate our power in the light, to shine our light, radiate our light, stand in our heart. At the this is one of the most important things. If you can do nothing else, be in your heart. If nothing else, be in your heart for yourself. Love yourself, love your animals, raise your frequency, give yourself every opportunity to heal and raise your frequency at every turn. Don't listen to crap that brings you down. Don't listen to shit that is triggering you in ways that's not helpful to heal, but it's just like a power over or a competition or a hierarchy thing. Don't watch things that make you feel bad about yourself. Don't be around people that don't uplift you and that don't support you. Don't be around things that are push doom and gloom on you and fear mongering. Fear is not real. There's nothing to be afraid of. And a lot of people are still in this big state of fear from the last 3 years out in the world right now. And so all of those that can see the reality that there isn't anything to fear can really help raise the frequency of humanity right now. So we need to integrate our heart, our love, and to be willing to be vulnerable enough to be in our heart, which is a very childlike feeling a lot of times, which can make you feel like, oh, I'm being unprofessional, or I'm not being mature, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, we want to be in our heart. That's the doorway to the soul, and integrate that with this new moon energy and come together with it. And we have these trines from Lilith and Leo to what? The divine masculine and feminine, Juno and Jupiter, in this new cycle, Aries, conjunct, starting this new cycle in Aries. So insanely powerful, this new moon. Please do ceremony. Please have an amazing time with it. If you're a woman and you want to come to a sacred women's circle, I am having my friend and I are having a women's circle this Sunday, and you can message me on like LinkedIn or LinkedIn or Facebook is really the best. TikTok doesn't really have good messaging. Yeah, we're just doing it kind of low key like that. So if you message me on LinkedIn or Facebook, or even, I don't really check Instagram much because I don't use it for business, but even like Instagram, then I can send you the links and everything for this women's circle that we are having. It's sacred space, it's confidential, and it's on Sunday the 22nd at 2 p.m. Central. And then some announcements. If you want to deep dive into your own personal astrology, come into the Goddess Retreat. It's every Friday at 12 noon Central. It's a time that's just for you. There's all of us women gathering in sacred space to deep dive into our astrology together. Every week I teach one planet in your astrology chart, and then we all talk about our planet our planet and how it works for us, and we're all learning at really deep levels because we're all understanding from each other. And it's really, really powerful, and it's sacred space. It's confidential. It's not going to be put anywhere else. So it's really powerful. It's literally $23. It's a no-brainer, and that's for all. There's 13 weeks left. That's for all 13 weeks. So you know, it can't, it's basically free, and you get your free natal birth chart emailed to you as well. And then you can come join us every Friday. So it's a no-brainer. Sign up. The link is below in the video. And the other thing is that if you want to work with me, there's two ways you can work with me. You can purchase an astrology reading, which is $155 at a really accessible price. That way you don't feel like, you know, it's so much that you can't ever do it for yourself. And you can do that. It's a 30-minute live recorded reading for $155. You can book that on thegoddessastrologer.com. And if you've never really worked with your chart before, or you have, then you know what you're kind of probably looking for and working to do and wanting to understand. But if you're not working with your natal birth chart, this is a chance for you to re-own your power and to stop being victimized by circumstances, and to really understand the beauty of you, your gifts, and your amazingness. And the other way you can work with me is in Alchemical Goddess Soul Coaching. So I do one-on-one soul coaching where we go deep into alchemizing the shadow and the pain, loss, and challenges that you've been through, healing past lives and trauma, and then upgrading into the highest visibility in your business, your revenue, and to move forward in your life to accomplish the dreams that you want to bring into reality, and to do everything in your feminine energies from a place of the feminine. Stop doing the masculine energies, to give yourself a break. So it is insanely powerful to have a guide on this journey. And I don't live life without a coach helping me see my blind spots, healing old things, and just having that support on this really insane, amazing, insane journey that we're all on here. So those are the two ways that you can work with me. And you can either come into a complimentary goddess call to apply for a chemical goddess coaching or you can book an astrology reading, and you can do all that on thegoddessastrologer.com. All right, y'all, let's get into the sun sign horoscopes. Gonna do that. And pull cards. And as usual, put chapters on these so you can just go right to your sun sign and your rising. And I really encourage you to look at your rising and your sun, because your rising tells you what this will be in your natal birth chart, and your sun is your solar chart. And together they really give you an amazing picture of what you're dealing with for this new moon and full moon. Not new moon and full moon, for this new moon. I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to use the goddess deck today and use my favorite deck, Sacred Creators deck. All right. Right, y'all. All right, we're going to get into the sun sign horoscopes for everyone. I hope you are doing amazing. I'm so glad you are here with me. Thanks for joining me here. And also, if you do want to come into the goddess retreat, go to thegoddessastrologer.com, click the banner at the top of the page, $23, and I'll see you there on Friday. All right. So Aries. Aries, this conjunction between Juno and Jupiter is in your first house. With Diana, there is in your first house of identity, who you are, the way you deal with threats and handle threats. And it is about your sense of yourself and your independence, your autonomy in this life, like who you see yourself in as your ego and your identity. And so there's this, like, the masculine and feminine within you. How integrated are they? Are you still working as a woman in masculine energies? Are you in power struggles and dynamics? Are you just really in your own certainty and sovereignty, where it just doesn't matter what other people have to say or think or what they're doing or whatever? It's just like you're here to like build and create your own thing. And these trines to Lilith in your 5th house, saying like, where are you on stage? Where are you shining? Are you really standing in your heart, believing that you matter? Like, are you, do you feel self-possessed and really understanding that you matter in this world? Are you standing in that sense of power and leadership? So this is about, Lilith is about your feminine leadership, and this new moon is happening in your 11th house of social media, your audience building, groups, collaborations, connections, friends, other people. And so this is a real rebirth here in the area of other people and what's happening there. And there's with Venus and Saturn here about relationships and money and how it all relates. And if you are going to stand into a place of heart-centered power from within, to be in a dynamic of power with other people. And really knowing, like, I don't match with this person, I'm not a vibe match. If you're not a vibe match, just disconnect. And if you're a vibe match, connect. And then people change and go, and you're friends for a little while, and then that moves out, or people have different life circumstances. So letting things flow and being in that flow and then that rhythm. And, you know, this is really changing, looking at your mindset, because this yod is pointing to Mars about, you know, the way you've been thinking. Is your mindset, are you changing your perspectives and the illusions and the programmings, or are you going deeper in the programmings? Are you stuck and rigid in your thinking, which keeps your consciousness at a lower level? And it's asking you to play in your business, to have more fun, to loosen up and lighten up around money. You know, stop trying to work hard and work inspired, do inspired work. Inspired work, play, sink into your feminine, roll around on a yoga mat, like move your body, get into that radical embodiment, and that will inform the inspired action that you need to take. You know, you don't need to do all these things that other people are saying to do. It's your fierce autonomy within yourself to take action from your inspiration, from being in your body as a woman and really connected in. And it's a time to celebrate and look at any repressed material that's coming up around your business. Anything that's coming up around your business is coming up to be healed, it's coming up to be healed. It's coming up to give you information, to give you important wisdom for your clients. It's part of the shamanic journey. So this card wants to come up for you, Aries. What's your honest truth? So is there radical honesty? Like, are you trying to fit in? Are you keeping what you really think hidden because you're afraid that someone's not going to accept you or like you, or that you speak what you really want to speak, then somebody's going to have a problem with it? Are you self-editing constantly, or saying sorry, or not cussing, or are you modifying how you present your identity, your personality, how you come across all the time? That's not really standing in your sovereignty. That's like too much worrying about what other people think, too much concern. This new moon is a rebirth in your house of other people and connections and community and the collective, saying like, it's time to stand in your autonomy, your own authority. Saturn conjunct Venus, like, what's your own authority? This is a rebirth. This is a future. How do you want to be in relationships in the future? Do you want to come from your own autonomy in relationships, or do you want to be modifying yourself constantly, twisting yourself into a pretzel for other people? And what else is causing you to not want to face the truth? Afraid lose money, won't be liked, won't get the meeting, get the, you know, somebody's going to disclude you. That's a really primal fear in our psyche. The distraction of shiny things, and it's in a self-care message saying that you're really pulled from this direction to, you know, what is charming is not always what is healthy, you know. And so the shiny things, because this is interesting and alluring, but it's saying you're not going into what is the shiny thing within you, what is the diamond within you, what is amazing about you, and really connecting into that, being really connected to that at a deep level and bringing that forward. Instead, it's like too much caught up into other people's stuff. This new moon's in your house of like letting go of all that. You have Valara, she who flies, dare, do, reach, which is Aries energy. Aries energy is that like daring, bravery, courage. And it's like, okay, where do you already know you've got courage and you're set, but where do you not have courage in your life that you haven't really looked through, because you're like, oh, I'm courageous, I do all these fun, but where are you not courageous? That's the area to step into new daring and bravery, and to believe in yourself. That is imperative. What is in your life that's making you not believe in yourself? That's something really important to look at. Where is there manipulation, brainwashing, control, domination? Oh man, I hope that I shared. Did I? Yeah, I hope I did. Anyways, all right. Fucking Zoom, man. Okay. Taurus. Taurus. So this new moon is happening for you in your house of business, your soulpreneurship, your entrepreneurship, your visionary entrepreneurship as a woman. And it's standing in your Saturn authority. It's a new authority in relationships, in money, in finances, and in business. And this is a birthing. And it's also about the way you think. What is helping you about the way you think and what's not? Where does the fixed mind need to go and have a rebirth? And Proserpina is saying, hey, there's a bridge between the old and new here. You got a lot of information this past week leading up to this, especially with the Sun conjunct Pluto. And Diana and Juno and Jupiter in your 12th house is saying that there's a rebirth from old karma to the new life, to now creating the life that you really want. Creativity, the love, the connections, the divine masculine, feminine, the goddess Diana, who is a fierce warrior of sisterhood, of independence, and she's a huntress, and she's just wild, and she's wildly feminine and passionate, and she's playful and fun. She connects with all of the animals. And Lilith, opposite this new moon, is saying, are you standing in your power, in your sense of yourself, within yourself, your sense of security and rootedness in the world, and sense of feeling safe and grounded and rooted? Like, are you playful about all of that, or are you in some sort of like the program from the power over system of like urgency, grinding, hard work, rushing around? Or are you standing in the play and the light of that Leo energy of the Lilith, standing in her power, as a transformed woman, in empowerment and certainty and confidence, understanding the abundance of life, really just having agency with your emotions because you do that inner work, and really integrating that with a new mind, birthing a new mind around your business. So you have this confidence in yourself and your security and your roots, and then you can stand in the world and bring that empowered light to the world, and stand in this autonomy and this galactic higher consciousness, this upgrade of frequency. So you're having a massive upgrade of frequency in your business. Got to bring that heart. This yod is pointing to Mars here in your second house of money, and where are the values that you need to cultivate. And so cultivating versatility of thinking, adaptability in your thinking. If it's not serving you, move it out. It's not useful thoughts. Thoughts are not truths. Thoughts are just thoughts. Thoughts are not truth, but people subscribe to them as if they're facts. There's facts, and then there's everything you think about those facts, which is just all your thoughts. And there's whole like TV shows that are all just about people fighting about their thoughts. Like, how boring and how inane. It's like you can develop the versatility of yourself and the adaptability, this chameleon energy to change, to adapt to what's needed, to be so resourceful. And Mercury in your ninth, about this like play and having fun with standing as a leader in the world, with being a visionary, with dreaming, with higher truth and channeling. Like, have fun and play, and anything that's repressed about that is coming up to the surface. And the South Node has been clearing out things about relationships. And so, the North Node and Uranus here in your first is all about your identity. It's a massive activation, with Uranus in your first house of who you are. It's this activation of being in this empowered, emboldened, courageous, beautiful woman, this wild woman who's fierce and independent and strong and courageous and bold and speaks her truth and speaks the truth and radiates light and love in the world and isn't afraid of anything. Don't let fear threaten you. And Pan here saying, have fun. And Albion is about birth and transformation, conjunct that North Node, which is this activation of you. And so it's so incredibly powerful. All right, Taurus, pull you some cards. Fierce serenity. So fierce serenity in a self-care message saying that you have to take your time to yourself to what do you love to do? Play, write, read, walk, roller skate, surf, like ski, like what is it that feeds your soul? I know what the things are for me right now, that they feed my soul. Sometimes I just want to spend all day doing that. And so it's like fierce serenity where it's like, no, you're guarding and protecting, like, this is my time, this is my space, this is what lights me up and feeds my soul, and this is what I will do, and I will have this time for me. And it's saying that you need to guard it with this lioness energy of, this is my time for me to do the things that feed my light, that help my frequency expand and raise, and that allow me this frequency upgrade, because I'm feeding my soul and I'm playing and I'm doing the things that make me happy. If you are not happy in this life, what are you? And a lot of people are just on that hamster wheel, really stuck in the patterns and the routines, and it's not sacred. Ritualize your day-to-day life. Don't let it be meaningful and just do one task after another after another. Ritualize your life and bring that sacredness back to the day-to-day and the mundane tasks. The spark of creation in a protection message. So it's like there's too much hustle, grind energy, and too much of that program as a dominator culture of like working hard. That's bullshit. It is bullshit. And I see so many people, astrologers, interpret Saturn that way, and other people that are, that are really shining bright, but really are like, oh, they're so hardworking. No, no. Inspired work. And so it's in a self-care message saying like, you need to deprogram that shit. This is an Aquarius, it's a mental moon. Deprogram your mind from the programs in the culture. First, you got to identify what the program is. Why is that your value system? Taurus is about values. What is your value system? You have Isra, she who dreams, escape dreams, fantasy. So it's talking about play. It's talking about your time alone to dream and imagine and use your imagination, not for doom and gloom and not for running the old crappy thoughts that don't help you, but for dreaming your dreams of what makes you happy and feel good and feel in that love place and held and supported, and connect to your guides and talk to your guides and be in that place. It's really powerful reading for you, Taurus. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Gemini. All right, Gemini. This new moon for you is happening in your 9th house. This is this connection to this higher understanding and truth. And it's a house of publishing. It's the house of standing in your expertise and in your vision, and the house of being on the dream quest and standing in your expertise, like believing in that. This is really this, like, what are you publishing in your life? It might not be prints. Are you publishing a program, a t-shirt, a line of clothing, a baby, creation. The fifth house is children, because it's about creative expression. It's birthing the creative work, art, birthing a baby, right? So it's like, what is this that you are publishing? What are you connected to that you're creating? What scholarly place within yourself, of the sage place, that are you standing in within your power as a leader? And this is a rebirth in this area for you. But we must integrate the heart, must integrate Lilith and Leo, and bring the heart, and not come from a stance of superiority. A lot of times we go to superiority because we don't know how to lead out of that power over model, because it's never been modeled to us before. We don't have any examples of it. We don't have any role models of it. And so sometimes we go to that superiority place before we can move out of that into a place of power with other people. And so consider being in your heart, and what do you have to do to be able to be in your heart? Where are you not willing to be vulnerable? Where are you not willing to be playful, and seeing that as unprofessional or not mature or something, silly? This is about shining that light and being in this highest vibration and frequency of light, and a rebirth here. And then Diana and Juno and Jupiter in your 11th house of your audience is this new cycles, new beginning, this integration of the masculine and feminine energies, and the fierce goddess Diana standing in her power, her independence, building sisterhood in the house of community, in the collective, like building sisterhood, standing as a leader, partnering with other people to lead people, and helping people stand in their sovereignty and their leadership. Mars, this Yod here pointing to Mars, is like, can you be understanding your mind and really letting go of old programming that isn't serving you, not allowing yourself to be in any fixed, rigid thinking. The places where you're like, oh, I'm just like so willing to change and adapt. You are a Gemini, but where are you fixed? Look at where you are fixed, where you're not being adaptable and versatile. And you have to be willing to look at it first before you can then ask the question if you want to change that, if you're willing to change that. Mercury with Quaoar here and Bolus is saying, like, don't stuff down any repressed material, especially around sexuality, money, around your business, like functions and money and income, and around the connection to your guides. Like, are you suppressing your gifts and your connection, your psychic energy? Like, are you afraid of the darkness, or afraid of opening the door of what may come in? And like, how can you start to get the tools to handle that and to deal with that, so that you can be open to your gifts? And the North Node and Uranus here in your 12th house is saying that there is this birth and transformation from the past life karma and everything that has been. And there's really needing to be playful around healing anything that is needing healing, anything that's arising from the shadowlands. There's a need to be a lot more lighter about it, and a lot more giving yourself a break, a lot more lighter, playing, maybe painting out and getting it out with noise and paints, the shadow and the difficult things that may be coming up and arising. And there is this reform happening from the past life to this life now, what you came into this life for, that you came into this life to lead, to be radiating your light, to where maybe you were suppressed in past lives, maybe you weren't able to heal in those lives, or to deal with karma and to clean that up in those lives. This life is a transformation of that. This is the North Node in your 12th house saying this is a rebirth from old karma. This is coming into divine love and creativity in the light, finally. And this is also your deep ability to be so intuitive and from your instinctual nature to get into radical embodiment within yourself. All right. All right, Gemini, you are light. So yeah, there's this like sense of the seriousness that maybe you've been going through some really heavy material and suppressed material that you've been working through, but there's this sense of that it's so heavy, like remembering that you are light, remembering the love that you are. Sometimes you can't feel love because you are love. So how can you click into the play, the do the things that feel your soul? Sometimes I just have to do organization to feel clarity, which feeds my soul because it just helps me to feel more clear and get all of the distortion out of my mind plane, my mind field, and to get back into like, no, I can clear the decks and really get into a place of connected with loving my projects and my business and loving what I'm doing, and that I'm doing it for fun. I'm not doing it to get it done. And I have to get this done. And I have to get this done. I'm not doing shit to get it done. That's not why I'm fucking doing it. Fuck that. I'm doing it because I enjoy it and I want to do it for fun. That's why I'm doing it. So like if you can connect that place and get out of that heaviness it's asking you. There's a lot of reverse cards here. Prosperity sisters are happiness and joy. So the message is very clear. I mean, I don't even need to go into anything more. You're asked to feed your joy and your light and your happiness. You've got Goddess Pearl, she who rises up, empower, uplift, elevate. So it's saying that, like what I've said in the forecast, that we can sometimes really get into this dark hole of disempowerment, and we need to almost get angry sometimes to get out of that. But whatever the fuck gets you out of that, but disempowerment, you can't take any action, you won't. And you don't want to stay in that place because then you won't be able to help yourself. So it's like really, you've got a very clear message. Feed your light, feed your joy, play, get into your heart, remember, what makes you happy. Like, do you know the things you love to do, and why do you think you can't? All right, Gemini. Move this. Cancer. All right, Cancer. This new moon for you is happening in your 8th house of sex and death and the mystical, the occult, the what's not seen, the invisible realms. It's really the psychology. So your own psychological mind, where you've been. This is a rebirth in your psychology and sexuality and your connection to your gifts as a woman, to the invisible realms. And it's saying, like, are you standing in your authority here in your relationships, in your money, in your finances, in your connection to all that is, because you have this opportunity to take this rebirth and do this differently, which requires you to integrate standing in your power from a place of heart, not from a place of superiority. Lilith is not in Capricorn. It's saying to stand in your heart, to be in that place of empowerment and power. 8th house being like this place of power. So this is a rebirth of your power coming from your heart, coming from this willingness to be vulnerable, which means looking at the suppressed unconscious material. And this Jod pointing to Mars is saying that to release, cut away the old patterns and ways of being around, what you sense, what you're feeling, what you're triggered by, what's not working for you anymore. You're cutting away past life karma and old stuff that may really be triggering. And there is this effort between the South Node and Mercury to heal relationships, to heal your sense of leadership and your ability to lead, and to not lead from the wound anymore, but to lead from the empowerment and from your heart. And Quaoar and Folis here are saying, like, bring the play back, bring the play. Something will be illuminated here. This is this is a threshold. This is a turning point. Something's illuminated here. Bring the play in your relationships and interactions and your partnerships with other people and your sense of justice. Be a little more playful with that, because when we're too serious about it, it's not helping anything, and it's not helping your frequency raise. So you want this frequency upgrade in this area of your life. And Diana here in your house of your business and public opinion and how people see you taking up space in this world, there's a rebirth here happening for you to stand up in sisterhood. That part of your business is about creating sisterhood and creating connection and being that like sister that helps everyone and is the one that goes in and helps and fights for the good and stands in this empowered place and helps other women stand in their empowerment. And there's this rebirth of the masculine and feminine energies in your business, so that you're not running it from the masculine energy and the striving and that way, but from your feminine energies and this integration. There's this new cycle that is beginning there. The North Node in your 11th house with the Uranus there is that there's just unexpected with other people. Expect reversals and be lighter and more playful with people and groups and your audience, and building your audience, your platform, your social media, and just really connect into this birth and transformation that's happening to be more in your radical embodiment in your body with other people. Like, are you grounded? Are you in your body? Are you connected? Are you up in the ethers? Are you up in your mind too much? You want to connect to other dimensions from a grounded state within your body. And are you in your mind too much and not in your heart, not in your body, not in your breath? As a woman connected to this present moment, because it can disassociate so often, and cancers can feel so much that you might want to check out or disassociate. And it's like this radical embodiment when you're around other people and building community, that there is this new cycle here of creation, of like valuing other people, valuing connection, valuing building relationships with people, because that Cancer can want to hide and go be behind the walls and go be at home. And that's keeping you from building the relationships and connections that build a business and allow you to upgrade in your business, your revenue, and your visibility. So I'll pull you cards, Cancer. So you are living poetry, realizing that you are beautiful, that the gifts that you have, that you bring, that you're channeling, divine channeling through you at all times, and that you are a living expression of art yourself, that you're not looking for perfection, you're not looking to get to a destination. Here's the thing, you already arrived. You arrived. There's no destination to get to. That's fucking programming. That's power over bullshit. You arrived. You got here. You were born at this time in history. So it's a journey. It's the unfoldment. It's the creation and the life and the living and the loving. It's that is that worth it to you? Because sometimes as we're pulling over the old way of destination focus and striving and the goals, it almost is like, well, what's the point? There can be a pointlessness for a little bit until you base it upon new things that are from within your soul that you love. You got balance, and balance is not through equality or equal things. You don't brush your teeth as much as you sleep. Balance is about feeling solid. When I stand in a handstand, I'm a circus artist. When I balance in a handstand, I'm always, there's always micro corrections happening in my hands that most people wouldn't be able to visually see. And so it's like, do I feel solid? You know, can I move my legs and do movement? And it's about feeling solid in a state of constant fluidity, because life is not about static. That's where we stagnate, and then disease and happens. So this card wants to come forward for you as well. Feed your artist. It's in a self-care message saying that you're not valuing play and art and creating art, and that you're not valuing the feminine, the creation, the artistry, that side of life. That life is art. Life is not achievement and get it done and always this destination. Like for Gemini, heavy Gemini energy, that might be, you know, that fun, distractible stimulation energy, this restless energy, but it's not, you know, there's nothing there. If you just keep going from destination to destination, there's nothing there. It becomes soulless, and then you wake up from that realizing that, oh, There's nothing here actually. And then all this time is gone, right? Of she who forgives, elixir, remorse, guilt, forgiveness. So it sounds like I'm not a big fan of forgiveness. I don't really believe in it. I don't believe it's a question of forgiveness personally. But this sounds to me like there's some sort of grief and there's some sort of something that was done that needs to be healed and grieved. And because like when you grieve and you fully deal with something, there is no forgiveness needed because you're just healed on it and there's just not an issue anymore. I just don't believe in forgiveness, to be honest. I don't think it's a question of forgiveness. I'm different that way. Everybody's like, oh, this forgiveness work. I think they're trying to have an antidote to blame, but blame is actually a phase on the healing journey. We don't want to stay in that disempowered state, but blame can actually help you to own your power and claim your power for a little while. You don't want to stay there. You don't want to like emote it out into the world everywhere. But it's really saying that you need to heal some grief, face what's going on there, and then that healing will mean that there isn't anything to forgive. You're just over it. I really do believe you can heal completely. So a lot of people saying you can't. Sometimes it's an interesting journey of what the fuck it takes, but I believe you can heal completely. So, okay. Leo, this full moon for you is happening in your 7th house of relationships. So it's a rebirth, it's a new beginning in relationships around how you think about them. The cerebral Aquarius new moon, this is higher consciousness coming in and insights, and this is standing in your autonomy and power, but in diversity with the collective, in your own diverse, unique individuality, which Leo is great about individuality. But if it's your sun, then you're trying to become a Leo. So depending on the rest of your chart, you might need to step into your individuality more and your sense of yourself and realize that's what you're working on in this life. And this Proserpina is saying that there is a bridge between the old and new for you in relationships. Lots of changes here with Lilith and Leo saying, bring the heart into your relationships, like partner with people and work in your relationships from an empowered place that's not superiority or power over, from the heart and from vulnerability of being healed and whole and understanding your power. When we understand our power, there isn't a problem with being vulnerable. This Yod to Mars is asking for a cutting away of the old patterns and old way of thinking around other people and the collective. And you're building your social media and groups and friendships. There's a cutting away of the old way of being with that. There's a lot of information coming forward. And there's a request for versatility and to not be so fixed and rigid about relationships, to shed what isn't working anymore, to really come from this Uranus energy of breaking up the old status quo ways and be inventive and ingenious and bring your genius forward. That there is a standing in this radical embodiment when it comes to being in your business, to be radically embodied in your business, and then you can bring your light in your business. Then you can radiate and shine your light and your love, your heart so big, because you're standing in this place of being fully in your body as a woman, in your breath, in the present moment. Leo is very much about this present moment. Lilith is saying, be in the present moment, be in the play, be in the here and now, and bring that to the future of your relationships and what is birthing here. Quaoar is saying, play more when it comes to your day-to-day work life. Play, lighten up, bring the joy in, feed your light. Don't let go of so much of the, you have Quaoar and Pan, like 10th house, 6th house. It's like, let go of such the serious, dark energy about the business and play and have fun and come from that more playful, loving place. There is this new energy starting in your house of travel and expansiveness and publishing and being the expert in your world. Like with Diana here saying, build sisterhood, be the expert out there to use that to build sisterhood and to help empower women and stand in this place of letting the divine and feminine energies have this unification coming through you being an expert and standing in your power. I'll pull you cards, Leo. This card wants to come forward, and you are living poetry. So this is really recognizing the artistry of life, that it's a continual, fluid, constant creation, and to let go of the perfectionism, let go of the destination focus, and be in the moment to moment creation of creativity, of like procreation here. And a step ahead is all you need. So it's really saying there's too much future focus, letting your vision fuck up your now happiness and joy of just creating, and like too much perfectionism and looking to the future and not really in your body, in the present moment, really grounded. Unstick the stuck of that shit, and don't let that hold you back from being like feeding your joy, feeding that playful side, because you can't frequency upgrade if you're not in your joy. You got Colette, she who nurtures empathy, gentleness, insight. So it's you, I mean, you heard that answer of like from your 6th house to your 10th house to play, which is a nurturing energy, lightness, not so heaviness, not so dark, the lightness, the play, the love, the fun, the laughter, the joking, and this relaxed way of doing inspired work instead of working hard. Don't buy into the spells. All right, Leo. Virgo. So Virgo, this full moon is happening for you in your 6th house. And it is this house of this new beginning, this fresh way of being, of letting go of the old stuck ideas about how you work, how you do routines, how you do schedules, to loosen up. Virgo wants to analyze everything and pull it apart and be so incisive and detailed, but it can, when you're so it's a constipation in a way. It's like, can you integrate the Leo, the play, the heart, the lightness, standing in your power, and bringing the moment to moment release of all that tension and pressure, and be in this grounded place. It's wanting you to ground this new earth, this new way, ground the empowerment from your heart and not in the superiority. Ground your empowerment from being in a playful place, in a vulnerable heart space, coming from your soul, coming from this fierce feminine, and standing in your authority in your relationships and your money and abundance, and claiming that for yourself. Quaoar is saying play when it comes to your leadership, instead of being so detailed and analyzing it. Be more playful, bring the heart, bring the joy, bring the love, like dance, celebrate, paint, like drum, sing, chant. This is what's called for with Mars here in your house of your business, saying that there needs to be this versatility around your thinking, cutting away from old thinking patterns that keep you stuck, keep you held down, keep you in that more constipated, unhappy place. Pan is in your house of the visionary, and your expertise, standing in your expertise as a leader in the world, to play and to be mirthful and mischievous. And there's this radical embodiment called for in standing in your power as an expert in the world, standing as a sage in the world, and really to bring in that higher understanding and that deeper study in a more playful way, and so not so much so serious, so constricted. There's a rebirth happening in this area of your sexuality and your finances and your connection to your gifts and channeling, and your connection with your guides and the other realms. So there's a rebirth here of really standing in your power with it, being more playful, being more certain, standing in sisterhood, really calling in this leader of sisterhood, of leading the way for other women to get out of the competition and the power over models and the superiority, and a rebirth of your divine masculine feminine energies here to unify together, to integrate. So it's really important of like releasing the fears around bringing your gifts forward, of like admitting that you're psychic, of being intuitive, of connecting to it, of learning skill set with that, of really allowing yourself this birth and transformation in standing as a leader with people, and cut away from the old thoughts that are keeping you stuck. All right, Virgo, I'll pull you cards. Fierce serenity and a self-care message, saying that guarding that your time for play is number one. That must be. If you're not like what's coming through for you is that there's too much of this like stuck, rigid unhappiness, gotta do. You know, the Virgo energy is supposed to help you accomplish, not keep you in a like unsatisfied, unhappy place. You know, this make a mission for your soul, for your mission statement for your soul card is in the self-care message, saying that it's, are you connecting and coming from soul in everything that you do? Or are you coming from too much of the analytical mind? Because the Virgo energy can be too analyzing, not asking your heart what the next right step is, but analyzing with your mind, and not coming from that place of from within, from your feminine genius. The mind only knows what it's already seen. It doesn't have answers. It is just a tool. So she who begins, primavera, launch, actualize, potential. It's the spring energy of the spring green and all the spring energy. Primavera is a spring like dish when you make that, all the fresh vegetables. And she who begins, like launch, actualize, potential. It's talking about beginnings in a new beginning, a being a different way from your feminine energies that play, relax, that like trust. Can you trust your joy to accomplish the thing and lead you to the money? And if you have all that distortion in your psyche of that, this is the only way I can make money, or this is the only way I can have what I want, then that's what you're going to believe and continue to act out. And that is what's leading to so much lack of joy. So that is what must be changed. And you have this chance to have a new beginning within a new beginning here. But it's going to take getting out of that fixed way of thinking about it. Libra. So Libra, this new moon is happening for you in your 5th house. And I just have to take a little break. I'll be right back. You won't notice. All right, Libra. Libra, this new moon's happening for you in your house of leadership, children, creative birthing, of creative projects. And so there's just this rebirth of this new beginning of the way you think about all of that, the way you think about your relationship with your kids, and the way you think about your creative expression in the world. And this new way to think about this can lead to you being this fierce, voice in this world in such a powerful way. This integrating this fierce feminine empowerment in the heart with this new way of thinking to bring this forward into your life, so that you can be standing in your leadership, really understanding that the work you bring to the world really absolutely matters, and you're contributing your specific gifts that you came here to bring, that it matters to this world and changes the world, and really standing in that power. This North Node in your house of being the sage, being the expert, of understanding that, being radically embodied in your body, landed in your body, in your feminine energies, connected into your instincts, your intuition. And it says, lighten up here, lighten up about being that leader. And Quaoar here in your 4th house of like feeling rooted and secure within yourself says, lighten up. and give yourself a break and bring more play and more fun in. And that will help with your mindset around old ways. There's real changes, and Goddess Diana is saying there's a rebirth here in your relationships to be the sister of sisters, to really be this presence of sisterhood in the world and this example of that. And there's a rebirth in you being a leader of women, and a rebirth of your masculine and feminine energies in relationships. So in all your relationships and partnerships, there's a unification and just a rebirth coming there, and just a new cycle starting there of empowerment of those energies being integrated instead of one dominant and being dominant in the mind. A lot may have come up around finances and your values, and what you can cultivate within yourself that's innate to you is really like you've been on a rewind looking at the past on all of that, and it's just only coming up to clear. It's only coming up to heal. It's only coming up to shift. So it's great that it's coming up. Mars in your ninth house of like being this like versatile and being adaptable and changeable and willing to shift and willing to be able to come forward. It's saying to really trust your gifts, trust your psychic gifts. Like this is an activation of destiny to realize that you are meant to be an intuitive seer and to have your gifts and to be connected to them and to raise your consciousness and your frequency and to have more fun with your gifts, that it can be sacred and fun and playful. It doesn't have to be so serious. It can really be more lighthearted, and get in your body when you're connecting psychically. Get in your body and do both, connect to the other dimensions from a grounded, embodied state, and really believe in your ability. It's also asking about your sexuality, that there's a birth and transformation possible for you here, which is about your power and your procreative energies in the world for your business. All right, Libra, I'll pull you some cards. Stop, drop, and ground. So I was getting that there's like, it's asking you to be in your body when it's around psychic gifts, that there's a reason that you're not in your body right now. And kind of that, can be, there's a lot of things that can take us out of our body, pain or disassociation or the subconscious material coming up. So it's wanting you to ground more frequently, and to find ways that you feel like you really can ground. Actually maybe holding a twig or a rock or something that makes you feel grounded, lava or certain kinds of beads. This card came out, success and transformation. It's in a self-care message. So realizing that it's always the journey and not the destination, that you made it to the destination by being born at this time, that there's no destination to get to. It's actually just a continual unfolding. And that's what manifestation even actually is. It's like, it's really this, realize that this transformation is absolutely successful already. It has already begun, is already successful. So there's this like fear that it's not going to be, fear that you're not going to push through all the way, fear that you're not going to get to the other side of this, and seeing what you need to do to release that fear. It's really just some tapping or some different techniques that can release it for you. This card wants to come up. You are magic. I don't think you're tapping in and believing. I just really get this sense that you're not believing in the magic that you really are. It's like some sort of competency attack, some sort of lack of confidence, lack of seeing it even. I don't know that you even are seeing it. So it's like, how can you see? It's like we need to see the contrast so you can actually see it. And like, what do other people see in you? When people give you compliments, like maybe there's people you can really ask like to help you see it, because you need to see it. And sometimes it takes the contrast of people who are not what you are to be able to honor your own gifts, which is a powerful gift they give you by being a shithead. So you got Futura, she who divines, future, choice, judgment. And so it's so funny of all of this 8th house happening for you. And this 8th house and this 5th house, it's like the deep self of the, like, the 5th house, like this romance with life and with creation energy and being in the present moment, fully embodied, fully present, fully grounded, connected to your gifts, but believing in the magic and the beauty of who you are. And you have to really believe it and own it and claim it, instead of always like shrinking back down and not believing in the amazingness that you are. Like, that just your light alone is amazing and beautiful. All right, Libra. Scorpio. New moon is a rebirth in your 4th house, Scorpio. It's really asking you to integrate your fierce feminine empowerment, standing in that fierce confidence and empowerment from your heart, radiating your light, and to integrate that into this new way of thinking about being secure within yourself, about emotions, about being grounded, and this new way of being in the world, this rebirth of this collective energy, your diversity energy, your individuality, being that Rara Avis, and allowing that to give you this sense of security, not in man-made rules and laws and structures and all of that, but a sense of security in who you are, your connection to the divine, what you bring forward in this world, what you're meant to do, what your heart is telling you, and to be in your heart, in your empowered feminine, to stand in this. This is standing in your authority, in your relationships, in your money. When it comes to, you're going to have to work with your emotions, like the deep instinctual nature, the sensing, feeling self is going to need to be dealt with to be in your authority, to stand up in relationships in a new way from a sense of autonomy and sovereignty, rather than the codependence or the deferring to others to be the authority or to know, to looking to yourself to know. Diana is saying to really be in this place of sisterhood around your life force energy and your lifestyle, and like understand that there's a new beginning happening in your sense of being a woman amongst women, like a working for sisterhood amongst women, female community, women all rising together. And you do that through your day-to-day kind of efforts in your business. You do that through your lifestyle and scheduling, that this allows you to be that amazing force for women, and creating and being an example and an embodiment of that. There is this radical embodiment asked for when it comes to your relationships, to be in your body. There's all these like little flies from my plant flying around. This little plant came with like a lot of flies, man. To be in this radical embodiment when it comes to your relationships, to be present, to be fully in your body, to be with people, to be connected and grounded in. And you're asked to be grounded, building sisterhood, to work with your integrated masculine and feminine energies, to work with the shadow around lifestyle and where, like, how are you not grounded enough. Mars is saying there's this cutting away of old ways of doing things and responding and thinking, and wounds when it comes to sexuality, when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your psychological inner self and your connection to your guides and channeling your gifts as a woman and what you bring forward. Quaoar is saying to play when it comes to your mindset and your thinking and how you're looking at everything and what you're creating and doing your social media, to really celebrate, dance, chant, sing, like play more. What feeds you, what allows you to play more. And Pan also in your house of relationships is like, there's got to be more playfulness, more relaxedness, less seriousness, not so heavy and dark and deep. Like, time to release the old rigid ways of thinking. There's a lot of help to if you're creating sisterhoods, if you're partnering with people in sisterhood, if you're creating communities, there's a lot of help here with like the old wounds healing and not looking through the lens of past life wounds and karma. Okay, I'm gonna pull you some cards, Scorpio. Stop, drop, and ground. Like, definitely got that message that there's a lot happening in your 6th house, that needing to ground and be fully in this present moment right here, playful in your heart, excited, feed your joy. What is this moment? And this card is coming up big. So this is really, definitely happening in the collective a lot. It's coming up as a big message. Limitations inspire innovations. Which word stood out to you more? Limitations, innovations, inspiration. It's like, what are you focusing on? Are you in the negative? Are you realizing that the limitations allow you to find your resourcefulness and find your ingenuity and to really understand what you're capable of that maybe you never realized before, and to tap into your own value and the parts of yourself that you can develop and cultivate? Success and transformation, and a self-care message saying that let yourself believe that the success is happening at the very beginning of it. As soon as the transformation happens, even when you're in the underworld and it's dark as fuck, transformation is happening. It's just that worst balsamic moon time of it, and it doesn't feel like it. And allow yourself to honor the beauty of your journey. You got Abanalaka, she who battles, justice, fierce, commitment. And so her sword is down by her side, and she's wearing a white dress. It doesn't have blood all over it, but she's poised for battle if need be, but she's not anxious. She's not anticipating, she's not filled with anxiety and fight or flight and fear. She's just poised, and she's very present, aware, awake, alert, conscious, in her body. She's very embodied. You can just sense that whole energy from this card. So I hope that message helps, Scorpio. All right, Sag, this new moon is asking you to reset your mindset, to reset the way that you perceive life and communicate with others, and the intellectual property that you're making, to let yourself have less fixed, rigid ways of thinking about it, get out of the complexity, and to really birth a new understanding. Man. Damn. To let yourself have a new understanding of hold on a second. I can fucking talk again. Oh, man. To let yourself have a new understanding of going forward and thinking in a way that serves you, that helps you in your life, that is useful to you, that allows you to be in this present moment and to be grounded in the here and now. The North Node in your 6th house is saying that being in this radical embodiment in your body, being in the present moment in the here and now. Man. Hold on a second. Sag, this new moon is in your 3rd house of getting out of the complexity in your thinking, of your creative creations, your intellectual property. This is the house of the goddess. It's really saying that there's a new way to think and be informed and bring your ingenuity, your inventiveness, your unique self, your Rara Avis. Who is you? Are you trying to fit into the way everybody else thinks, or are you standing in your own individuality in how you view the world and what you think about the world, and standing in that. Like, are you confident in that? Are you confident expressing that? Are you confident being different than other people and bringing that forward? And there is this standing in your authority, Saturn here, within the collective, of your own unique authority within yourself, from yourself, in relationships with your money. There's a bridge here, from the way you used to be to the next upgrade of your confidence, of your authority, of being in your light, in your heart, and really having this new vision for how you go about your creations in the world, whatever you're creating, whatever your products and services is, whatever your social media is. Lighten up when it comes to your mindset around money and who you are, the value you bring, your self-worth. Like, lighten up, bring more dance and fun and sing and chant and drum, and like get into the instinctual self, grounded with the earth, in touch with the earth, the tactile part of life that's calling for new ways of thinking and believing, cutting away from old thinking patterns when it comes to relationships. You're standing in a new way to ground into the present moment with this North Node here, a birth and transformation with Albion conjunct the North Node, saying that the way you go about your schedules, your day-to-day life, the way you think about things, the way that you do your work with your life force energy that's going to go out in the world, like coming from this feminine place, like listening to the inspired action, listening to what your heart wants, listening to what your energies need in those rhythms, and being in this like radical embodiment, having fun, being in more play in your day-to-day life, instead of that gotta get it done and that work hard kind of vibe. Letting go of the hustle and being in more play and being in the present moment, moment to moment to moment, it's going to help you a lot. Are you building sisterhood when it comes to your leadership? Is your leadership helping build sisterhood in the world? Is it helping build be a role model for women? Are you integrating your masculine and feminine energies in your leadership and standing in a powerful place there? So there's a lot here about Lilith bringing your heart. Are you in a superiority complex? Are you trying to lead from superiority, from better than, in that power over dynamic? Or are you bringing your heart empowered within yourself? So power from within, power with, coming from your heart, able to be vulnerable, and bringing and integrating that into your mindset and your perspective, and the way that you're able to channel and use the mind as a vehicle for all the amazing ideas that flow through you to create into this world. Bliss is worth creating from. So you really got that message hard to play, have fun. Like, are you, where, so you might be thinking like, oh, I am taking time off and I'm doing all this, but like, where are you not? Where are you rigid? Where are you stuck? Where are you in a constipated, like a grumpy, unhappy, unsatisfied, dissatisfied way of being in that area of your life? That's where it's saying to bring in the light and the play and the heart. And why do you think you can't? Move beyond intention to belief. So it's like, not just like, I want this to happen, which is an intention, but to actually believing. And since it's in a self-care message, is saying that you're not believing. So what is shaking your belief in yourself? What is shaking your confidence? And whatever that is needs to go. You need to get it out of there. You need to heal it. You need to go in there and pull it out, pull it apart. What is it that's making you not believe in yourself? And Sag, you got this card that just popped up, Geneva, she who radiates, knowing, ambition, confidence. So yeah, so I just said that whatever is not allowing you to be confident, fierce, believing in what you want to create, what you can do, how powerful you are, lets you be in your heart and out of that superiority bullshit. That's what you need to pull apart, heal, fix, get those fucking people out your life. All right, Sag, hope that helps. All right, Capricorn, new moon in your second house. Money, what you need to develop within yourself to, that you have within you that's innate, that you have these innate values within you that are powerful. And so there's something to cultivate here. So your own authority, your ability to be in, like, your independent, feminine unto yourself, that you just know what you want, your no and your yes, and you're very clear about that. And this is a rebirth, and you're fixed thinking around money. You're fixed thinking around your value system and what you value. This is an opportunity to get out of that fixity, to have this illumination and this higher consciousness and insights and this frequency upgrade in your money and your valuing in yourself and your self-love, like to just have this bloom burst forward in your self-love like you never thought possible. Really being in this sense of authority and autonomy, and this sense of leadership must come from this feminine, divine feminine, from this place of peace, from this place of not this hard work and so negative, just a more cynical place, but from a more light-hearted, fun, peaceful, springtime kind of place, a bloom. There's a birth coming here, and the way you handle that, the way you go about being a leader or dealing with your children, that there's an opportunity to have a birth and transformation here. It's asking you to play when it comes to your children. It's asking you to play when it comes to your creative projects and what you're doing in the world, and to really honor that you matter and that your work matters. It's asking you to be radically embodied in your body, and that the reforms come from within the system. This Mars here in your 6th house, your day-to-day life force energy, lifestyle, is asking you to be a little bit more versatile and grounding, be willing to adapt and change and ground as you go about your life and your day. And you're cutting away from old ways of thinking that you have to do schedules, you have to do patterns, that you have to do life or healing or your body, or think that you're cutting away these old fixed ways of being, of thinking about it, that are holding you back and we're keeping you stuck, and asked to be a lot more celebratory and dance and sing when it comes to your identity and who you are. So in other words, having a more celebratory, drumming, singing, dancing type of energy, meaning that like you're in the feminine, connected with all of life type of energy, like flowing, fluid, loving in your heart, listening inward, the inspired way of being within yourself, and get out of the old stuck patterns of thinking about that. Lilith is saying, stand in your empowerment, not in your superiority, fiercely from your heart, being vulnerable because you are empowered and whole when it comes to your sexuality, your connection to the beyond, to the invisible realms, to your money and finances, and to your own psychology within your mind, like standing in a fierce, self-possessed empowerment, bringing light there, bringing love there, and integrating that with everything that you're thinking about in your money and your value. It's like, this is about a frequency upgrade of how you deal with finances, how you deal with psychology, your worth, sexuality, sensuality, being fully embodied and like radical in your embodiment. You can create a lot of sisterhood by being emotionally available, emotionally centered, having agency with your emotions, feeling your emotions, understanding your emotions. That's where you can really be a role model of sisterhood for other women. I will pull you cards, Capricorn. Magic happens when you most expect it, and protection message. So you're really in the negative loops of thinking. And that's the thing, is that Aquarius is fixed mind. So you need to break out of the negative ways of thinking. So what are the thoughts? Look at them, pull them apart, and really look at, are they helping you? Are they serving you? Are they accomplishing your dreams? Are you stuck in old loops and patterns of scarcity, of control over, of competition, of not enoughness. Those are all programs to keep you down, to keep you on the hamster wheel, to keep you out of your feminine energies, out of your instincts, out of your intuition, external validation. So it's saying that, like, really don't rely on external validation. Give it to yourself, approve of yourself, love yourself, believe in yourself, tell yourself that you're proud of yourself. And this is a real important thing, because when you're looking for external validation, then you can really give your power over without meaning to places where it can be quite detrimental to you. You have Futura, she who divines, future, choice, judgment. And so it's like really connecting in with your gifts, your intuition, your power, your intuitive, instinctual self. Everything here is saying that to forget what other people say. Capricorn is very concerned about what other people think. And it's very cautious and it's very measured. That's good. Like, if you're in a fast car driving around a cliff, you don't want to just go so out of control. But you want to titrate. You do want to speed up around a curve. Otherwise, you're not going to take the curve well, and then you're going to be all over the road. So you do want to speed up, but you got to titrate the amount of speed. So that caution with Capricorn can be overly cautious. It can be in a way that is not useful. It's just caution to have caution. That's not fucking useful, and it's not fun. So it's like understanding the discernment of where caution is needed and where it's not most of the time. And you have it in spades, so you'll know when you need it and let it go the other times. You got to wiggle the thoughts, wiggle the negative thinking, wiggle the stuff that's holding you down and that is not allowing you to frequency upgrade, to be in your heart. All right, Capricorn. Aquarius, new moon, obviously happening in your house of identity. It's a rebirth of who you are and getting out of the fixed, stuck places about who you think you are, who you think you have to be, what other people's opinions of you are, how you have to, defend things and respond to things, standing in your authority within who you are and within your presence in the world and taking up space and within your relationships and your finances and your money. And coming from a place of heart, coming from a place of radiating your light as a divine feminine empowered woman, standing in your fierce empowerment and who you are in the world, not dimming down your fucking light for anybody, not shying away and shrinking down and letting inconfidence or competency attacks fuck with you, and bringing it bold and big in this world. We need the Rara Avis. We need the inventiveness. We need your unique transmission. You got to get it out here in the world and upgrade it. If you're already doing that, upgrade to the next frequency and the next level in your business, the next revenue, the next place, so that more people are reached to help them heal and awaken. And you're asked to lighten up when it comes to family and home and your emotions and everything that might be churning up, and to really sink into like radical embodiment when it comes to feeling emotions and dealing with them. Don't disassociate. It's asking you to be really present in your body when you're doing your home life, ritualize more, have more fun, mirth and mischief, mix it up. There's a birth and transformation available when it comes to feeling rooted and grounded and secure within yourself. What makes you feel secure? What makes you feel like you know where you're coming from so that you can go to wherever you're wanting to go? You're asked to play and lighten up when it comes to all the karma and what you're healing and the subconscious material that you're dealing with, and also with your creativity and your artistry in this world. Really realize that you're changing your thinking. You're cutting away from your old thinking around parenting, around your children, around what you're making in the world, your products and services and your business and the creative projects that you have. You're cutting away from old thinking that isn't serving you, asked to be more adaptable, more fluid. There's a lot of ability to be a role model when it comes to the way you think and communicating for others out in the world, making intellectual property, social media posts, whatever, to be a role model of sisterhood and female community and connection. So this is definitely about who you are and standing in greater power within yourself. Let's see what the cards kind of bring up. accept and receive. So are you in that like the mental, like having to push, do, strive, like this has got to be this way? Are you allowing to just receive and magnetize and attract it by being the Rara Avis and the ingenious that you are, and loosening the mental ways of thinking about it all? What is this about? Because it's a self-care message. It's asking you to, like, do you think you have to do it all, or do you think you can energetically magnetize things to you? Light and the unexpected, it's in a self-care message. So it's saying that maybe things are rather dark right now. You're not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It's been a long, dark road, and you're really needing to like realize that both Saturn and Uranus rule Aquarius. So you have the dark and the heavy and the old, and then you have the new and the light and the higher consciousness. So realize that we're not in the old paradigm anymore. And there is shadow to heal, but you do heal, you get to the other side of that transformation. So you got to believe that there's a light, that there's wisdom you retrieve by going through the underworld times. Your soul shines. So being that unique transmission of who you are allows other people the permission to be the unique self they are, and it shines through to your audience, and your audience will see it. I just feel like you need some more cards, Aquarius. The sacred flow of yes. So what your heart wants, when your heart wants to play, when your heart wants to go for a walk, when your heart wants to take a shower, when your heart wants to do the things that you keep saying, no, 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 I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to take care of that, I got to do the kids, like be in the sacred flow of yes to your heart, to your play, to your inner needs. Like when you listen to that and flow, it's going to unstick this darker, heavy feelings where it's feeling like it's just closing in on you, and it's not in a good place right now. With all of that, with this new moon and Saturn being in your first house, your ego can be like feeling really asked to grow right now, and really catalyzed into a new transformation. You have Enid, she who doubts, fear, worry, wariness, and trust. And so it's like, yeah, there's this heaviness, doubting that the good will come, but there's always the light that returns. Hopefully it doesn't have to take 26,000 years, but you're not here at this time for there not to be light in your life somehow, some way. So what are the emotions that you need to release, grieve? What's going on that you need to deal with to be able to get to that more lighthearted place? I pulled you another card, Shayala, she who creates. So it's creativity, originality, which is Aquarius, and spontaneity, listening to what I was saying, that inner voice to play, paint. Maybe you need to get big poster board and finger paints and like make noises and get the rage and the anger out and express it, and paint and do some sort of sacred practice to get back in touch to in your body, out of your head, out of the old fixed stuck ways of thinking, and release what is heavy and dark that's weighing on you, Aquarius. I hope that helps. Sending you so much love. All right, Pisces. Pisces, this new moon is happening for you in your 12th house. So patterns, ways of being that came from past lives, also your connection to your intuitive, what you sense, what you feel deeply, how you feel connected to the collective and all that is. This is getting a rebirth and transformation, and what you think about it is going to change, and is offered a chance to have a completely new way, standing up in your authority around the life you want, what you came from, what you're here for now, and standing up in your authority around your relationships, your own unique individuality, and your money, your relationships, cutting away the old way of being and relationships. It's a new beginning of standing in your authority in relationships and in money, from past lives and past lives and past lives, and the old subconscious stuff. And it's bringing the love, bringing the light of your empowered feminine to integrate it with standing in your authority, standing in your power, and really thinking in a way that is the truth of that this was a past life, this was old stuff, you're in a transformation, this is a new beginning, this is new energy. The energies haven't felt like they've changed for years, but this is all new energy that we're moving into this year finally. So this is change. And we have the North Node and Uranus in your house of your mindset. And so it's like asking you to be embodied and not in the mind too much, but more in your body, and let it instinctually come through. What you communicate, the intellectual property that you make in the world, come from there, not from your mind. Be radically embodied, lighten up in your mindset and the way you're thinking and what you think you have to communicate. Just lighten up, be more fun, have more mirth and mischievousness and play. And there's a birth and transformation possible here for you. This Mars is cutting away from the old way of thinking about security, money, roots, how you feel safe and comfortable and grounded, and what you deeply kind of like think about yourself as how you go out into the world. There's a cutting away of all the old ways of viewing yourself that are not true, that have to do with your sense of self and security in the world, your sense of foundation. Bring more play when it comes to other people and groups and connections and friendships, collaborations, your social media. Bring more play and mirth and fun there, lighten up there. It's really important to bring more celebration, drumming, dancing, music. By saying that, I mean like that kind of energy of like of the importance of that, the importance of the arts and creation and making music and drumming and the things that get you connected in instinctually to your body and to yourself. And whatever's repressed is going to maybe like surface really big here. It's asking you to like change your mind around this area. You can really be a role model of sisterhood when it comes to wealth and money and standing in your value and confidence and self-worth. Like, you're really powerful in this area. And there's the integration of masculine and feminine energies in this area of your life as well, which is really powerful. So it's definitely a cutting away of the old past lives and moving into the new, and really related to the way you think about it all. Like, do you believe that you're get to have the life that you want and going into a new, amazing, beautiful life? You have follow through. So what's this about? The now moment. So it's like follow through on what's coming up for you and arising right now in this moment, instead of getting spun off in multiple directions and too much. It might take some organizing, doing a little Virgo to help your Pisces calm down a little bit. Integrating the Virgo Pisces axis when you feel scattered or diffuse, like go organize something, organize a drawer, organize some paperwork, organize your computer, and get grounded in the now moment so that you can follow through on the divine channeling that's blowing through you. The new moon is also like your channel, your insights, and just all of that crazy massive stuff that's coming through for you. What does your soul say in protection? So like, are you in your head too much, asking your head what to do next, or are you asking your heart, which is the doorway to your soul? Are you asking your soul what the answer is, what the trajectory is, what you need to do next? Or are you following your mind? Rise in the self-care message, saying that there's whatever makes you feel incompetent, inconfident, held back, wanting to dim and shrink. You've got to pull that apart and take it out of there and not let it be something that is allowed in your being. You got to identify it and pull it out, pull it up. Makita, Goddess Makita, she who sees, observe, perceive, scrutinize. So a seer. And it's that there's this perception that's not something you have to sit and think about. It's just automatic. You understand it. It comes to you. And there isn't a need to scrutinize if you have clear sight. Observe, the observation. What is this about? Concia. She who whispers secrets, confessions, confidant. So that you do see the truth through whatever is coming to you, like with people, with situations, that you are seeing the truth and trusting the information that you have. Now, how you act upon that, that's all a different matter, but trusting the information that you're getting and what you're intuiting, and trust your vibes. Don't go against your vibes. Your vibes say don't go with this person, or this person's off. And here's the thing, some people may be off maliciously, some people just may be off. And it's not malicious, it's just clumsy or unconscious or whatever, but it's not for you. And some people are just not for you, and they're fine for the next person. But it's just like you guys, you're going to clash in some way that it's like, why bother? So it's not always a malicious thing, but trust your vibes, trust what they're telling you. And then sometimes it's malicious as fuck. Get the fuck out of there. So, all right, Pisces, sending you lots of love, and I will talk to you all soon. If you want to work with me, you can book an astrology reading by going to thegoddessastrologer.com, or you can apply to work in alchemical goddess soul coaching, and you can apply for my coaching program. There are limited spaces, and you can do that by booking a goddess call with me that's complimentary on my website. And if you want to join the Goddess Retreat and take a deep dive into your personal astrology with other women in Sacred Container every Friday, there's 13 more sessions left. It's so amazing. Come join by clicking the banner at the top of thegoddessastrologer.com. I will see you guys for the next full moon. Next full moon forecast. It's so fun being here with you. I hope you get so much value out of that. If you like these videos, please like it and please share and comment. I really appreciate hearing from you and hearing what hits for you and what connects for you. Lots of love.